Do you want polygamy?
As a man,
Yeah.
I would want polygamy. Men are physical beings, which means their main attraction comes through what they see. And, variety, numbers.
We get a number of men would come with their wives here, for counseling. Yeah. And they're struggling with one wife.
If you're struggling with lust, polygamy cannot be a solution. You can have 2 wives, but you will cheat. You can have 3 wives, but you will cheat.
Sometimes it actually starts wrong. People cheat. They cheat on their one wife, and then in that mist, they decide or they think this is polygamy.
By virtue of the sexual intercourse, the bloods that are joining, you become one.
Exactly.
So tell me, would you have a problem sharing a husband? Hi everyone, we are on Love and Marriage today. It's going to be an explosive time. I want us today to talk about polygamy. Polygamy.
Okay, let's go for it. What do you think? Is it something that you would go for? Is it something you want? Do you want polygamy?
It's like you're the
I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Do you want polygamy?
Are you going to shoot me? They say listen, but do not judge. As a man,
yeah,
I would want polygamy. Most men in general would want polygamy. It's just that people can't be honest. Number 2, men fear being judged. Yeah, men are physical beings, which means their main attraction comes through what they see. And, variety, numbers, options provide some excitement for them. That's how we build. But at the end of the day, there's self-control. So yeah, I would not.
What would make you not want to?
Number 1, it's I do have an understanding, or I suspect that you wouldn't want wife
That's
number
what
2.
you suspect.
I just need to be sure. So number 1, it's about caring about you.
Okay.
I know that it would hurt you. So love is about sacrifice. I believe in the true embodiment of love, which is love is not selfish.
Yeah.
So I just feel like if it would be imposed on you, it would just be about my pleasure, about my fun. As I said, sometimes with men it's about the options, the numbers. But at the end of the day, when it comes to love is about commitment. Love is about sacrifice. I think about the next person. Yeah. So number 1, it's about thinking about you. I don't think it would be something that would be great for you. The number 2, our kids. I think we've got our firstborn, Owayo, very talkative. I think she could take me to task. Secondborn, Olubanzi. Yeah, she would really question me. Lastborn, yes, 2-year-old, he doesn't know much. But yeah, I consider our children, I consider their feelings. Yeah, that's why I wouldn't.
And that's all?
Yeah, there are also religious beliefs.
Okay.
Religious beliefs also. I happen to be a member of the clergy. I happen to be a pastor. And the Bible is clear, whosoever is going to be a pastor or a deacon, they have to be a husband of one wife. Which means in the New Testament, there were men that had multiple wives. But it was just specified when it came to members of the clergy that be husband of one wife. So that's another condition that would exclude me, besides caring. besides a humanitarian, you know.
So at the end of the day, it's something that's quite interesting.
The guy, it's interesting. You just, the magic word, interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, but as I said, it's not about interesting stuff only. You think about other people. But if I would speak without being judged,
yes,
if you and just be, forget Kuti, I'm a pastor, I'm I'm the figure I am in public. So I'd be honest. Who would, like as boys, we used to play with cars. You wanted many trucks. That's how we are.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean that we are evil, we are devils. But at the end of the day, there's self-control when it comes to protecting other people. But in general, I'll tell you the truth. I've met many clients, men who think about it. Sometimes I know it's abused. Wives are hurt in the process. But guys do fantasize about it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah. Let's talk about the bad things. The bad things that you've seen done when it comes to polygamy happening in our days. What are the bad things that you've seen happen?
Well, I wouldn't say bad things because I don't necessarily think I have like a full understanding of the whole practice. I know it's something that is quite ancient. It's been there for a while. It's just that I feel like today, the way it's done now, it's coming from what you just explained, that as men, it's something that plays around in your head every now and again. And I feel like it's just a matter of if somebody feels like they're brave enough to actually do it. Sometimes they don't think about even the other aspects that that come into play. Financially, are you okay? Are you prepared to actually be a husband of more than one wife?
Yeah.
Are you? And I don't know how those that are actually in polygamy, how the men actually handle it, because I feel like we get, you are a witness. We get a number of men come with their wives here, for counseling. Yeah. And they're struggling with one wife. They're struggling with one wife. So for me, it's always a thing of, but what if you go for polygamy? But what were you thinking? Like, if you can experience drama with one wife, how
much more?
How much more? There's two, there's three. I just feel like it's a matter of people. And sometimes it actually starts wrong. People cheat. They cheat on their one wife, and then in that midst, they decide or they think this is polygamy.
So you find that they've already impregnated. Yeah, I've seen such cases. Someone is already impregnated. Then they come and say,
I would think the best way for it to happen, and I actually have had clients that I talked through this whole process where I really feel like it would be fair if it's something that you would like to explore and go into, then let your person know from like almost the beginning of the relationship. Don't do as if we're Nanje, you're a saint, you'd never do such things. And all of a sudden, boom, you want to try his temp.
Yeah.
Because for some people, actually, and I've seen this with some of my clients, for some people, it's actually in their, I don't even want to say culture, it's in their family heritage.
Yeah.
It's part of them. So if it's something like that, then it's something that you really need to talk about to your spouse to say, you know what, there's this happening and you need to be aware and you must know if it's like that, you find that you're not so much in control as the man. Yeah. It's your father or your grandfather that is actually, because even the wives, you're taking them for your father, from my father's house, the ancestors and all of that. So if it's really genuine,
I think,
find that it's a touch like that.
I think if people were honest from the very beginning during dating, where someone is like, my sister, I'm a polygamist.
Yes.
So that it's not shoved down someone's throat. I feel like it's a big injustice when it's forced on someone. I'm speaking as a man, but I just feel like sometimes there are injustices. I feel like it's not fair. For example, I've got 2 daughters. I wouldn't want any of my daughters to return home one day crying and be like, Daddy, my husband said he's taking wife number 2. And, you know,
And it's a
I need to
surprise.
decide. You know, some men come in, they say, you decide what you want.
Too much of a
It's either
burden.
you're coming or I'm moving on. You know, I just feel like it's an injustice when it's forced. According to the culture, polygamy, mamkhulu has to be involved, there's to be consent. I think that culture and that context, it was done in the right manner than what we see nowadays.
Yeah. But again, let's just say, hypothetically, if I may say it that way, let's just say you wanted, yes, you said you'd like to try it, but and I agree, you know, and I'm like, okay, you know, that's fine, as long as, of course, I have my own conditions. How would you handle it?
It requires a lot of admin. As I said, me and you, we deal with a lot of clients. Some of the clients are in polygamous unions. Someone needs to speak to the vision, especially the men has got to speak to the vision, the leadership, to say, we're going to have households. These households, there should be a budget. There should be, each wife has to have a house, a home. You know, it comes back to affordability.
I've seen cases where there's one house. There's one house, and you just have to yourself a bedroom. That wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work.
Because you're like housemates.
No, polygamy requires money. You know, it requires money so that people can survive, and also, you know, the children could be taken care of. So it requires money.
You know, mostly there could be competition.
You see, if for example, the women that marry into polygamy, they agree, there's got to be oneness. They have to work together. Competition and polygamy could never be, you know, they could never work together.
And I guess that takes us back to what we spoke about, that things that are not done right now. When you look at most polygamous families now, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of hatred. There's a lot of mistreatment within the family. So it means something is not being done right. And it's not handled right. So are you saying it's a matter of the husband showing the leadership skills, or it's a thing of everyone must be involved, it's a teamwork?
Number one, it's the husband showing leadership skills. It's fun. It's not for boys. You know, some of these people that get into polygamy, you see some boyishness there. It requires leadership. It requires some strong leadership on the man to provide direction, to build this home that has got some unison. Then it also requires the cooperation of the wives. It requires the cooperation of the children. So we're dealing with cases also a past, you know, everyone is talking polygamy nowadays, but we're dealing with the past of people that have been hurt in polygamous unions, people that were born into polygamous homes, and they vowed and said, I don't want my children to go through that. So I wish people would really think about it. It requires some work, you know. And
I mean, marriage on its own, sorry for cutting you there, marriage on its own with one, you know, a marriage with one-to-one.
A monogamous union.
Yes, it requires a lot of work. So how much more when there's 2 or 3 people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The challenge nowadays, as you said, is people who disguise cheating, who conceal cheating and say it's polygamy when it's not polygamy. It's cheating. And the interesting part I found as a man and also doing consultations, I found that, there's a deeper problem which cannot be solved by polygamy. Unfortunately, no one is ready for the truth. The deeper problem is if you're struggling with lust, polygamy cannot be a solution. You can have 2 wives, but you will cheat. You can have 3 wives, but you will cheat. So we really need to look at the depth of it.
Yeah.
Are we dealing with issues of lack of contentment? Are we dealing with issues of lust? Or are we dealing with issues of wanting to really have a polygamous setup,
Yeah.
And there's some people who come in, they say, I had a dream. What do you think? What do you think about someone who says, I have a dream? I had a dream. My grandfather said, I need to take wife number 2.
And this is when we've been in
You've
the...
been married, and someone just says, I saw a dream, amadlozi, ayakhuluma ati.
No. For me, that is... I don't want to say names, but that would not... for me, it's either then you continue with whatever amadlozi have said somewhere else with somebody else, not me. Like, honestly, you can't come up now, there's a dream. When I had dreaming dreams that... Again, it goes back to our values. Remember, when you get married, the person you're getting married to, there must be something you have in common. There must be something you both believe in. So when I know that we believe in amadlozi, we know amadlozi speak to us and all of that, then maybe it will be a different story. But if I come into, and this is something actually, I'm glad you bring it up because it's something that I've had through one of the clients that have come in, where when we get married, we are both maybe Christians or we both believe in a certain thing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, within the marriage, you are changing on me. There's things you're now consulting, there's things you're doing that we never did in the beginning, and you're not involving me in that change. And then in that whole change of yours, you come up when I want is temp. For me, it's like,
Yeah, so the changing of the values becomes a problem.
Yeah.
I wish people would be honest from the beginning. And also, I have a challenge with people that like using the name of God. God said, uJesu ati, or amadlozi ati. Why can't we just be honest? If, for example, someone wants polygamy, to say, this is what I want.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there could be a lot of manipulation.
Yeah.
So tell me, would you have a problem sharing a husband, being in a polygamous union?
Yes,
would you have
I
a problem?
would have a problem. I would have a problem.
Elaborate.
I would have a problem because for me, marriage is spending the rest of your life with somebody that you commit to. Okay. So now I feel like if I'm going to now share this rest of my life, because we become one, you see, and now we are one, and then there's somebody else that you are one with.
Yeah. I'm like,
for me, it does not make
cocktail.
Yes, it's like, okay, now what is this? It's half and half. Because I still need, now I'm sharing that oneness that we have. Unless, of course, I don't understand it and maybe I'm seeing it in a different... Maybe their understanding to polygamy is that we all become one. That's also a possibility, of which I still feel like I did not get married to be one with another woman. You see, I would like to be one with a man, and I'm committing to the man. I don't want to commit to a woman.
By virtue of the sexual intercourse, the bloods that are joining, you become one.
Exactly.
If there's wife number 2, you become one.
And that's not the kind of union I want.
And
I think another thing for me is fear. And yes, maybe one of them could be that of fear of the unknown. but also it's fear from what one has seen or heard, about polygamy, where, like I mentioned, there's hatred between wives.
Yeah.
There's competition. There's hatred between children, that are actually coming from the same father. They are not able to have healthy relationships. They have relationships where they are hiding things from each other and all of that. And there's the fight of always wanting to be the house, because like you say, there's different houses. So there must be, somehow there's a house that's going to be higher.
Tell me about your self-worth. Would your self-worth agree? Is there anything like self-worth when it comes to agreeing or
I think
disagreeing?
it's just, okay. Self-worth, definitely, it's one of those, aspects that would make me feel like, you know what, I deserve better. However, when you're married, it's always as if you're supposed to think or consider the next person. I think that's how a lot of wives, a lot of women find themselves agreeing to go into polygamy, even when that was not part of their plan or thinking, even when they started in the relationship. It's the whole thing of, I'm married, so maybe I'm the one that's now going to hinder whatever plan that he has for us for the future, or I'm the one that's going to hold back whatever vision he has. So somehow, as women, as much as we may be virtuous, we have our values that we uphold, but at times, because of marriage, somehow, or because of how we're taught marriage is supposed to be, somehow we then feel like, okay, I need to compromise. I need to move back and allow things to just flow. So, but yes, for me, definitely, it's one of those things where I feel like, I think I deserve better, and I think I'm worthy enough to still walk out and live a better life that is more peaceful, because that's another thing, peace.
So if I would say, I want wife number 2, you would walk away.
I would walk. I would so walk. Jokes aside, no, I'm serious. Like, I can't. And you know me, my character, I can't be talking, I can't be shouting and all of that. And I know with polygamy, you can always expect that. You need to fight for yourself. You need to.
Can I talk about your character? I think you are a person that's peaceful. I don't think it would be good to put you in that kind of position. I don't think it would be fair.
I'm glad you realized.
So I would never do that. It would be stupid of me. Yeah.
Oh, this is the time we say no.
So yeah, it would be bad of me. It's about fairness at the end of the day. It's about me putting myself into your shoes, the golden rule: do unto others as you'd want be done unto.
And I think what you're doing is something, it's actually breaking ground, because what you are doing is what you're saying. I know this is something we have spoken about before, but it's mostly what women are expected to do. To say, I need to be fair, I need to allow him, I need to. So it's usually women expected to do good unto others.
Yeah.
While good is not necessarily being done.
Yeah, on the other side. Whereas Ubuntu is for all people, which means fairness is for all people. So yeah, from my side, I don't think it would be a good thing to be done to another human being. But there are people that exist in it. What do you think about people that exist in it?
Well,
We've met people, clients that are in polygamous unions.
I think they live in a certain grace.
It takes
Honestly,
a grace.
yeah, it takes a certain grace. It takes a certain strength. It takes a certain boldness. I just think, yeah, we all make decisions in life, and we realize that we need to live within those decisions.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe we make the decisions without, thinking through everything. But once we are in it, then we realize, oh, well, I'm now in it. I just need to swim. There's no way of getting out. I just need to swim through it. Yeah.
I've traveled in life. I've met people, with the kind of work that we do. You meet different clients from different walks of life. I've met people who are in monogamous unions, and I've met people who are in polygamous unions. And I must say that I've got respect for all people, even those in polygamous unions. I've got respect. If they do it well, if there's peace, everyone is taken care of. I think I've gotten exposed enough to be able to respect people. I have clients sometimes who come in, they have a polygamous union, but provide therapy for us. I've had men who've said, me and my wives are going to come in for therapy, and I've provided therapy. So it's understanding that people have got different paradigms, and you respect them, and you support them in their different spaces.
And others will tell you there's more women than men. So what's actually going to happen
That's a reality.
to women that want to get married and men are taken?
Yeah. That's a reality. That's a reality. The numbers, datanomics, there's an imbalance. There are more women than men. We don't know. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, no, we're not saying anything. But the truth is, yes, there is going to be polygamy. We can't run away from that.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of it should be done right.
Yeah.
It should take care of everyone. Everyone should feel they are in a marriage. Everyone should experience marriage and be happy. There should be peace.
Curious one. You are a pastor of a church. For example, people come into church. They passes tension. Would you chase them from church?
No.
Based on what grounds?
We wouldn't chase them from church because they are married. They're not sinning. They are not in sin. They are actually married. It's just a different kind of a marriage. So I don't see a reason to chase them. Yeah.
Yeah. Looking at the Bible as we close, the Bible let people polygamous unions. It's a reality that's there. Not to say that I don't want to sound like we are promoting polygamy, because people are always there to judge and attack. We are public figures. We deal with different people. Some people come, they are Christians. I've met people who are Christians. They say, we want to come to church, and the church has chucked them out. But they are in a solid marriage, looking at the Bible in the Old Testament, people were married into polygamous unions. For example, your Davids, your Jacobs, and God called some of these people his friends. Abraham, So it was there. In the New Testament, for Apostle Paul to speak about it and said, when it comes to people who are church leaders, they should be husband of one wife. It means it did exist.
It was happening,
It was there. So in our modern times, in our times, who would I to be a judge? And I'm not talking about the wishy-washy gospel which says, who am I to judge? I'm not going to judge anyone. But when you look at a biblical context, there's nowhere where the Bible says someone who's in a polygamous union is going to hell. So mine as a practitioner, as a professional, is to accept them. If they come into churches, to accept them. They are married. I think in one of our seminars, actually, we had a couple that was in a polygamous union, and they were asking questions, and we had to answer how they could be able to exist together. So it's a reality.
It is a reality. It is.
It was a blessed one, Love and Marriage today. It was a great episode. Keep watching. Do subscribe. It's a great podcast. See you on the next episode.
See you.
For 10 years, I never insisted that we kiss. For 10 years, I never insisted we have sex. The gentleman is not about her body. A gentleman is about her. I have met ladies whom I thought were cheap, were too available. I've met women who were quick to want to kiss and fondle. And some boys will say, I want to have a taste of that. I want to have a taste of the pudding. Him having a taste of you doesn't give you a guarantee that he will marry you.
The painful part now is that it has become a norm.
Women use power and, are very vindictive. Do you know, if you gave me sex, do you know what I would have done?
You'd have stayed.
I would have dumped you.